Hello, everyone. Sorry for
Hello,
the
everyone.
small delay in the beginning of this webinar. Hello, everybody. It's an impressive number of participants here. I will introduce the history of this event, where we are right now. We are in the framework of EC2U Universities Alliance, and in this alliance we have a PhD network where we organize events for PhD students generally. We are basically here the willingness to organize something like this came from work package 6 on sustainable cities and communities, which is one of the working package of this alliance. And from one idea that came in Coimbra Forum from this spring, to talk about AI in this PhD network. We are here with a number of participants that translates the huge interest that you have on this topic. On the EC2U Alliance and the general activities that are happening in this beautiful framework, we will talk a little bit later. But now, as one of the initiator of our discussion today, I will invite firstly Professor Manuel Gameiro from University of Coimbra to address a couple of words, because my idea to organize something in the framework of PhD network is stemmed actually on his initial discussion in Coimbra University. So first of all, I will let him to introduce a little bit our discussion about the AI generally, and our intent to discuss today something on how to use AI in scientific research. Professor Gameiro, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Lucian, for the invitation. Okay, my sincere thanks for your role in organizing the activities of the work package 6 in this PhD network, and of course, particularly this session that we have today. Okay. Also, my thanks to the University Alexandru Ioan of Iași, and I know we have two vice rectors present in this session. Thank you very much for all your collaboration with work package 6 of EC2U. And of course, to the lecturers, Professor Lucian Rosu, Eugenio Rodrigues, and Adrian Iften. Okay, just a short mention about artificial intelligence and the role on scientific research. Okay, I think that basically what we have nowadays is that PhD students have a very good assistant, because before we needed to be like professors to have assistants and to have this privilege of having assistants, but nowadays PhD students start their career having already a very good assistant to help them in the PhD. And okay, this is just a short reflection from my side. Of course, you will have much better information from my colleagues giving the different lectures in this session. And okay, just to remind you that we have many students attending. Okay, please advertise our activities of EC2U within your network. Okay, there is a very interesting master in sustainable cities and communities in the organized by this work package. So you are very much welcome to apply. And of course, also in case you want to consider us as let us say a possibility for your future works, research works. Okay, we are open to receive you. Okay, thank you very much, and I pass the floor to the master of ceremony, to Lucia.
Thank you, Professor Gameira. Yes, we recognize that almost everyone needed at the time more than the PhD coordinator to construct the PhD, maybe sometime, and now OpenAI could be a source of inspiration, but there is a huge problem in properly dealing with this source of inspiration. And today we will explore maybe a little bit of this discussion too. Actually, I should tell that at the beginning, I thought about a webinar dealing with ethical problems related to using OpenAI, but I think this is very, very complicated and should be a topic of the future in our PhD network too. But today we are at the moment to learn something on how to use AI in scientific research. And we will pass slowly to our panelists. Just to say that we have another welcome address from our Vice Director on international relation, Professor Nicoleta Popa, but unfortunately there is fog on Bucharest airport today, and it was impossible to arrive at the time of our meeting in Iași, but maybe she will appear up to the end of our session. If not, I will try to complete some of the information that would have been presented by our Vice Director. So now, thank you once again, Professor Gameira. I hope you can stay with us because at the moment we have also maybe the possibility to address one or two questions from for each panelist, and to have a discussion on a small discussion at least on that. But I should apologize that you as attendees, you are muted. We need vocal participation normally, but it was impossible to manage such a large number of participants with all the tools available, also with the voice on. So you can address questions on the chat. We try to summarize them during this presentations, and at the end maybe we will address one or two questions for each panelist, and we can start a discussion, but not to end it now, but to have it for the future. Also, if you address questions and we do not have time to respond on right now, we will be back with a written response from the panelists or from the organizer as well. So I think it is the time to pass the word for our vice director in Alexandru Ioan Cuza University, Adrian Ifteme. He will talk actually on how to use AI in scientific research generally. Professor Ifteme, please.
Thank you, Lucian. Thank you, Manuel, for your introduction and nice words. I come from a work package 3 and we deal also with artificial intelligence in education. I'll try to share the content. Lucian, how many minutes I will have?
It should be something like 30 minutes, but with question we can have like 40 minutes per panelist.
Thank you. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
I start with a search on the Google. I search my name and you can see my web page from the Alexandru Ioan Cuza University. On my web page, it's a link to the webinar where I put the slides used by me in the presentation. Okay, I hope you can see the presentation. Where I will talk about using artificial intelligence in education and research. Okay, first I will start a little introduction about what is represent artificial intelligence, and in the second part I will talk about a lot of tools used by me in my activities related to the education, but also related to the research activities. First of all, I want to say a few words about what is artificial intelligence. Of course, artificial intelligence is the big umbrella. Under this big umbrella, we have text processing. When we search on the internet and we put some wrong written words, Google corrects them and search with correct words. But also when you write an email in Gmail and we receive some suggestion to complete the message, when you correct the words in Word using the tools from the Word. Also, artificial intelligence is related to processing of images. When we unlock our phone with our face or with our fingerprint, artificial intelligence is used in order to unlock the phone. Also is related to processing of sound. Shazam has a very powerful component with artificial intelligence to recognize very fast a song, but also our Google Home Mini, or if you have Amazon Alexa, text processing, it's used, and using techniques which transform the speech in text, we can interact with our application from home. Also, under this big umbrella, we have big data analysis, and also we have the robotics. Regarding the robotics, are many directions where robotics are already used on a large scale. We have industrial robots, but also we have robots which are sent on Mars in order to explore the planet. Also, we have robots which play football in very interesting games. But also, we have home robots which help us to clean or to cut the grass, or help us to clean our things in the house. Regarding medical robots, we have 3 big classes of medical robots: passive, which interact a little bit with the patient, but also we have restricted, which can perform some restricted interaction with the patient, and also we have Da Vinci, which can be involved actively in the real surgeries. Many years ago, the chatbots was the first initiative in text processing, and now we have the ChatGPT, but we can find on the internet platforms which allow you to create a specific chatbot which allow you to interact on a specific subject. In Japan, in education, they use from 2005 some tools which process text and allow the professor to generate automatically tests and allows them to identify very fast where the students can be helped in a more active way. In education, image processing, it's combined with mixed realities, and the future lesson in the medical domain can be seen in this way. In this video, we can see how real body can be modeled, and a user can interact with the 3D model with specific gestures and can see different details regarding this 3D body. Again, interaction with the hand, which is related to image processing. We can see different level of details. We have a CT scan in our home and we can see different type of details about this body. This kind of application can be very useful for the students from the medicine, which can interact with this kind of application. Why artificial intelligence to process humans? Of course, we talk about huge resources, big databases, big computers, supercomputers with very powerful processors, with a lot of RAM memory and with special video processors, which can perform in seconds hundreds of megabytes of images and can come with different information regarding what we can see in videos or in another type of information. Another example is related to the well-known game between Garry Kasparov and the Deep Blue from the IBM. In 96 and after that in 97, well-known Russian champion in chess participate in the challenge with the IBM Deep Blue, and in 97 the Garry Kasparov was defeated by the computer from the IBM. Later, after 20 years, in 2015, the team from the DeepMind Technologies built the AlphaGo application, which became the first computer which beat the Chinese champion in Go on a full-size 19 board. Here is another well-known competition, dog or cat competition, where participants receive 100 images with dog and cats, and they need to identify which images represent cats and which images represent dogs. What is interesting in this competition was very active in 2015. A lot of participants, human participants, identify around 90% correct the dogs and the cats in the images. And in this period, the artificial intelligence component which process images obtain precision around 95–96%, which is very important because, of course, it is not 100%. And from this reason, they try to improve their capabilities in image processing. In painting, if you search on the YouTube, you will find this new Rembrandt created by artificial intelligence, which analyzed in detail the Rembrandt opera, and based on the common features identified in all images, was able to propose a new painting with a man around 35 years, with mustache, which stay in this position. This proposal from the artificial intelligence is very similar with the Rembrandt. Usually in the Rembrandt period, artists put in their paintings a member of their families or auto-portraits. In music generation, again, we have a lot of tools, and the question is related in this kind of tools. We have innovation from artificial intelligence, which is able to learn from existing genres from the music, and it's able to come with new proposals. In the scientific papers, yes, I agree with Lucian. If you have any question, put in the chat. I can see the question, or I can see if you have any comments. In scientific papers, in 2015, 2019, the first paper which was accepted at the conferences, a paper which was generated by the artificial intelligence. Now with ChatGPT, we can see papers which have the ChatGPT like one of the authors. And this is very interesting because it's hard to identify where ChatGPT has a real contribution or not. In the medical domain are few well-known cases where artificial intelligence overtaken the doctors. For example, in reading the radiographia for the lung cancer or for the breast cancer, artificial intelligence is able to identify details which are not visible for the doctor. Also, in the skin cancer, some details are seen by artificial intelligence with 1 year before to be identified by the real doctors. Here are some results presented in a study where ChatGPT obtain a better quality like real doctors and also obtain better results in the terms of the empathy, which is very interesting in the context in which the interaction was only in the text form, which is not a real case because a doctor, when interact with a real patient, have different type of empathy, like visual empathy or empathy via the touching or via the tone of the voice. Anyway, my recommendation is for you is to try to remain in the top 25 in order to be competitive in comparison with artificial intelligence. In our faculty, we have a lot of initiative in artificial intelligence. Our first course is also from 92. We have a master in artificial intelligence from 2005. We introduced this year artificial intelligence at the bachelor level. We have many PhDs which work in artificial intelligence, in computer vision, optimization, but also in evolutionary algorithms, natural language processing. Which is interesting. In the last years, we try to combine artificial intelligence with mixed realities, and we have projects in this area. And more recently, we try to combine with quantum computing and try to come with new solution in the context of using artificial intelligence in a quantum context. In my case, 3 of my PhD students from 2024 work in artificial intelligence, Mihai in processing sounds in medical domain, Ciprian in detecting fake news on the internet, Georgiana in detecting anomalies in images, and 2 in 2025 which work in medical domain, Christian and Ingrid. In research domain, we work in natural language processing, in image processing, mainly in the medical domain, but also in speech and audio processing. We participate in different type of competition and try to build system which are able to identify respiratory diseases like pneumonia, tuberculosis, or COVID. Also, we have some projects in the context of video processing. We try to identify violence in video, and also in mixed reality, we use artificial intelligence in education or in games or in medicine and in recovering of the patients or in digital twins projects. Here are a few directions in the medical domain. We work in tuberculosis, in atrial fibrillation, in colorectal cancer, stroke, CNA, Alzheimer, and sound processing. We process different type of data, and mainly we try to classify better the images in different type of diseases, but also we try to identify which is the best treatment for patients. We have the advantages of the ImagoMall cluster, which help us, the technical people with medical expertise, and we have all the supports from the hospitals or for different type of associations which can help us with medical expertise. Here are some experiments performed by me in the past years with students from the master level. I asked them to try to use artificial intelligence tools in order to solve their weekly task. And it was very interesting. At the beginning of the semester, very many students use artificial intelligence in order to solve their task. But at the end of the semester, they didn't use so much the tools and solve the task without the help of the artificial intelligence tools. Another aspect which is very interesting, we use Turnitin in order to identify the similarity percentage for PhD thesis, but also for bachelor or master thesis. And in the last years, the similarity percent decreased from 10, 15, 20% to 5, 7, 11%. I don't know if because you use, they know we use tools which identify the plagiarism, or because appear a lot of tools which humanize the content developed by the artificial intelligence tools. Okay, I will move to the second part of the presentation related to the tools for education and research. I will show you a few experiments performed by me in my activities. In my case, I coordinate the course related to the software engineering. I give to the ChatGPT, I create a project in the ChatGPT. You have the option to create a project, or if you have the paid version, you can create your GPT. In this case, I use the functionality related to the project. In this project, I add all my courses, which represent PDF files, but also PPTX files, but also audio or movie files. And I ask to ChatGPT to propose me how to adapt this course to the new challenge to teach the students from the artificial intelligence section. ChatGPT come with a lot of suggestions, around 10 suggestions. Which is interesting is the fact that I have in my mind, before to ask the ChatGPT this recommendation, I have 3 recommendations in my mind. But ChatGPT will come also with 3 very good recommendations. I will try to adapt my courses using this recommendation, and also 4 recommendations which in my opinion are too advanced for the students for the bachelor, and maybe I will use this recommendation at the master level in the next years. Also, another direction in which I use ChatGPT, I asked to the ChatGPT to generate 20 questions based on the courses from the project, and generate very well 20 questions which cover very well the course. In fact, I have some problems with my computer in the February this year, and from this reason I need to generate again the previous templates from the exams again in the context of using artificial intelligence tools. First times when I generate the test for my students, the generation took around 6 hours. Now, when I generate with artificial intelligence tools, this generation of the questions with option, descriptive questions, with the help of artificial intelligence, help me to generate the similar test in only 1 hour and a half, which is very useful when you have this kind of repetitive tasks. With ChatGPT, also you can create your own GPT. The advantages of the GPT is you can generate a link and you can use this link in order to interact with GPT created by you. In this case, I create a GPT with some regulation for the students. I put the regulation in Romanian, but the interaction can be in any language. And of course, this kind of GPT can be very useful for international students, which can interact with this GPT in English or in Spanish or in another language. Also, when I create this GPT, I specify to ChatGPT to use only these documents, do not search on the internet, in order to minimize the hallucination of the ChatGPT. After I create the GPT, I put different type of questions, like the question presented here. You can see a question in English, question in Romanian. Of course, how can I get voluntary credits? We have a regulation related to how to obtain voluntary credits, but also tricky question like how can I get a voluntary credits without doing anything? Also, we have information regarding the accommodation from our university, but I put question regarding accommodation from the medicine, and also I have some question in Romanian. The ChatGPT provide very good answers to my questions. Also, the ChatGPT identify my tricky question, how I can get voluntary credits without doing anything. And in this case, it's not possible, at least not legally. ChatGPT identify it's not an ethical question and provide information about how to obtain credits, and also provide some information how to obtain easily voluntary credits doing some online activities or some activities which don't need maybe too much time. How I say, we can put a question in English or in Romanian. We can obtain answers in different languages. We have questions with answers in the documents. We have question with answers which are not in documents, and ChatGPT identify very correct what is the correct answers. In the case of the medical university, we obtain some information, but we receive also the suggestion to go to the medicine websites in order to identify the correct information. Anyway, I try very hard to make the ChatGPT to hallucinate. I don't know, 1 year ago, ChatGPT hallucinate a lot. This time I put over 30 questions and I didn't find nothing wrong. In the end, I identify a wrong remark of the ChatGPT. In our documents, we don't have any link to the Students' League. In one of the answers provided by ChatGPT, the answer contains a link to the Students' League, which don't provide from the documents provided by me, but can provide from the model used by artificial intelligence in this case. Another tool is Notebook-LM. I don't know if you have experience in using Notebook-LM. Notebook-LM is very powerful. Again, I do some very similar activities like with ChatGPT. Again, I put all my courses in the ChatGPT, in the Notebook-LM. One of the functionality of the Notebook-LM is to provide a very extensive summary of the materials which are added in the project. Here I obtain around 10 pages, which summarize very well the notion from my course. My course has around 600 slides with materials, with audio materials, with video materials, with PPTX, with documents, and from the all materials provide a very useful overview. Also, which is very interesting, Notebook-LM allow you to create an audio book or podcast from the materials provided by me. I will try to see if we can hear. Okay. Again, with Notebook-LM, I try to generate questions in order to generate a test. Notebook generate very well the questions and also provide where we have the answer to a specific question and the motivation from which this answer is correct. Here I generate, I put very complex questions about what are the 3 case Scrum roles and their responsibilities. In this case, the answer can be constructed using many of the materials provided by me, and after the Notebook-LM generated answer provide for every part of the answer where we can find useful elements in the courses or in the additional materials. Another tool which can be used in the research activities is Research Rabbit. In Research Rabbit, you can add a document. In this case, I add one of my papers related to the enhancing the attractiveness of learning through augmented reality. The research rabbit is able to identify similar work, and you can see which researcher from the world work in the same domain, identify the references, identify the citations, and you can build different graphs and images with the information related to the starting paper. This tool is very useful to identify similar work. It's very complicated in domain where for example, in artificial intelligence. In artificial intelligence, from the beginning of the year, we have thousands of papers. It's very hard to sort them and to identify which of the papers are related to the specific areas. With Research Rabbit, you can do that. You can identify which papers are more related to your initial paper. You can see from where are the groups, which are the authors, which cite your paper. And you can identify easy how to collaborate with different researchers from the world. SkySpace is another tool. SkySpace, you can find the tool at typeset.io. It's a very powerful tool which allows you to chat with GPT, with the PDF, which is very similar with ChatGPT and NotebookLM do. But also a very interesting component is AI Writer, which can assist you in writing research papers. For example, in this case, you can perform literature review for a subject. You can identify the top papers according with some specific criteria. For AI Writer, you can start with few words, and SkySpace allow you to autocomplete the text and to try. You can build very easy a state-of-the-art for a specific context. In this case, all the text from here is added by artificial intelligence, of course, after you agree with the content, and which is very interesting. You can identify also bibliography entries which are related to the text added by the artificial intelligence. Another component useful in SkySpace, it's a paraphraser. You can start from a phrase, and if you need to add more details or to provide a more scientific transformation of the initial phrase, you can use this functionality from the SkySpace. Another interesting option is for professor. The professor can use this functionality in order to identify which text is generated by artificial intelligence. And in this case, you can see the text generated by paraphraser is identified 100% like be created by artificial intelligence. Another interesting functionality is PDF to video. You can start from a PDF file, and you can transform this PDF file in a video. I have an example here. I start from a PDF file, and I transform this PDF file in a, I transform the PDF file in audio file. Okay. Of course, you can use DeepSeek. DeepSeek can be used in the same way like ChatGPT or NotebookLM. I do perform similar experiments and I obtain very similar results. Another interesting tool is Keeper, which is $1 per month. With Keeper, you can transform your text generated maybe with artificial intelligence in the you can humanize the text using the Keeper. DALL-E allow you to generate images. Also, ChatGPT allow you to generate images. You have tools in order to generate diagrams. You can generate slides starting from a text. Napkin is another very powerful tool with the help in an example from here. I put only the title, best practices for creating a mixed reality application, and all the text and all the images are created by artificial intelligence. Somehow you can get the tool in order to generate images and text. In the software engineering, you can tools like GitHub Copilot in order to generate code, or ChatGPT, or another tools which allow you to generate code. Hint, it can be used also for programmers in order to obtain answers to technical questions or to technical problems. ChatGPT, you can find Sora, which allow you to generate video based on the text. Here it's a very interesting video generated by Sora with a floating head. Everything from here is generated by artificial intelligence. Google AI Studio allows you to analyze images and to identify in images some elements, some objects. In the case of the image uploaded by me on the platform, artificial intelligence identifies very well a group of people which are standing in the front of the building. One of the person, which I am in this image, I gesture and speaking to the group. Another interesting tool is Voice 11 Labs. Voice 11 Labs it's allow you to transform text to speech. And also have a very powerful option which allow you to create an artificial intelligence agent. You can add documents. I perform an experiment with my courses. I add my courses to the agent, and after that, the agent is able to interact with an user using the voice, and of course you can interact with this agent in any language. You can talk with the agent in Portuguese, in Spanish, but also in Romanian or English, and you can hear details about the course in this case. Another very useful tool is Luma, which allows you to identify objects and to provide technical instruction in order to use, I don't know, a fridge or a coffee machine. Stability AI allows you to transform 2D images in 3D images if you need this kind of experiments in projects. In video, allow you to generate video starting from the text. You provide a short description, and in video allow you to generate videos. If you want to learn more about artificial intelligence, we have a lot of information and materials on the Coursera. Also, if you want to create artificial intelligence models, or if you want to create application, you have resources on the Kaggle, which organize competition. Also, Hugging Face help you to create artificial intelligence functionalities. I put here other links and I try to go to the conclusion. Of course, artificial intelligence tools can assist you in what you do. My suggestion for you is to try to use artificial intelligence in the domains where you are expert, because in this way you can identify very easy and very fast when artificial intelligence come with hallucination, and you are able to correct this hallucination, and you can be more productive when you know how the answers needs to look, or what is the correct answer to your questions or to your request. Like future works, expertise is very important. Of course, artificial intelligence can be used for fraud or for the misconduct, like the question how I can obtain the credentials without doing anything. And also, many times it's very important to know how the artificial intelligence obtain the results, or how to obtain the suggestion, and explainability and interpretability are very important for us. In our case, where we work a lot in medical projects, many times medics ask us why we provide a specific classification of images or why we provide a treatment for a patient. And with the help of explainability, we can come with explanation about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this nice overview. The people are happy to for your presentation, as you see.
You see, my presentation is on my website. You can
okay,
go there and you can see all the details on the presentation.
One of the point, and more than this, I think the meeting is recorded and we will discuss. It will be available somehow on EC2U network. And we have for the moment two interesting questions that can be addressed right now. Sorry, I will mention also the name, Lisa. Where is the line then to say, is this your work as a researcher, or is it the collaboration between a researcher and an AI tool? Is it still considered valuable to be published in academic journals?
Very good questions. In our case, when we work with our students at PhD thesis or bachelor or master thesis, maybe it's okay to use artificial intelligence in order to help you to reformulate, or if you write in English and you are not a native speaker in English, to help you to correct what you write in your thesis. But I show you a lot of tools which allow you to identify papers related to the specific subject. Artificial intelligence can be used for that. But after that, I recommend you to read the papers to identify which are the main advantages of the presented methodologies, of the presented ideas. And after that, to create by your own the state of the art for your research papers or for your thesis. Artificial intelligence can help you in order to do not lose time to search on the internet a lot in order to identify which papers are relevant for a specific subject. But after that, read the papers, try to understand the papers, and only after that try to write the state of the art. Many times artificial intelligence is not able to identify the main points and main advantages from the papers for the research papers. Use artificial intelligence, but try to be responsible when you use artificial intelligence.
And there is a even more applied question related to this. After using these tools, will Turnitin recognize that the content is produced via AI or not?
Turnitin is not very powerful in identifying if the text is generated by artificial intelligence, but you have Zero GPT. You can use Zero GPT in order to see if the text was generated or not with artificial intelligence. Many times when you reformulate or you translate in a language and after that translate again in another language, it's possible to lose some identifier which help, in fact, these tools to identify that the content was generated or not with artificial intelligence. It's possible to identify or not, depend on the steps performed by you in order to generate or to create the text.
Yeah, and I will complete that saying that maybe the best Turnitin, it's your thesis coordinator.
Exactly.
So the idea is not to handle with Turnitin somehow, even if you use something at the limits before, but to be convinced that you manage your own work. That's the most important. And we are a little bit back from, I don't know, from the very past time when the physical contact was the key of our scientific communication. So maybe AI will force us to be back then and not just to rely on our laptops and our digital communication. Okay, there are plenty of other questions. We will try to respond on them after that. I hope that we have the availability of Professor Iftem to complete some of these responses. And the idea is that after this meeting, we keep in touch and we will explore further maybe some of these points. And I would say even now, there is a huge need in our community, and maybe EC2U is a good umbrella to cover all this kind of reflection stemmed from your questions today, and to develop it in them in other activities like today. Thank you once more, and I think we can go now to the next presentation of Professor Eugenio Rodriguez from University of Coimbra. The idea of, I think you can share your presentation. The idea of this webinar was firstly to have some hands-on activities, so to work together, but this escalated somehow to a huge number of participants, and we are restricted right now just to show you what we can do with AI. So as in for past presentation, right now you will have other hints on how to use AI in your own research. Professor Rodriguez, please.
Thank you, Lucian. Thank you for the invitation and me presenting this work, how I do it here with our students, and how I recommend them to use artificial intelligence in their synthesis of the literature. And this will be more, I will exemplify how we are doing it. But before we go, I'm assistant professor at the University of Coimbra, and I'm head of the Cura Lab, a laboratory dedicated to climate and urban resilience in architectural engineering. And before we continue, I ask you to put on chat which AI tools do you use, if you already use them, and what for. For instance, I use ChatGPT to improve my English language, something like that. Provide, share what you are being using. So the issue is this. This is the number of publications per year in scientific journal. As you can see, we are reaching 5 million publications per year, and this is not reducing. And this does not include the last 2-3 years where there is a perception that more and more publications are being submitted, probably due to the increase in productivity by the researchers in using artificial intelligence to write their work. And if we split it by publishers, we can see that there's an increase in several of those publishers. So what I'm going to show you today, how to initiate a search in a broader topic. Usually you as a PhD student, you still do not have a very narrow topic for you to work on. So you have only a general idea, and I will show you how you can search in the databases to harness and analyze what are the potential topics within that broader topic, and then use artificial intelligence to improve your search query in order to focus your attention to what might be of your interest. In the end, retrieve the results and use artificial intelligence to organize that information for you. So basically, you are going to do a loop. We start by searching for a broad topic in Scopus database. You can use others, but I will exemplify using Scopus. We will retrieve a sample of abstracts from that database. We'll provide it to Google's Notebook LM to improve our search query and organize it in subtopics. And then we use an improved search query again on Scopus to have another sample of abstracts, and we do this until we are satisfied with the results. So let me now show you how you can do it. So on my left, I have Notebook LM. you can use it. It's free. You just need a Google account. And on my right, I have the Scopus. You can use your credential from your university to access your Scopus, and if you are in the internet of your university, you can access this. So I will start to provide a string about the broader topic that I want. For instance, as I work in climate change, let me exemplify climate change and buildings. I can do a search. And as you can see, I can start reading 36,000 papers right now. I will need a lot of time to read all of them. So how can I use artificial intelligence to start removing the false positives of my search query, meaning papers that appear in my results, but they actually are not addressing the topic? So what I recommend is first order them by date, and you also list the first 100 results. Then you can select the papers on this page and you can export them as a comma separated value. Okay, I select all documents on this page, not the total, and then I just select the abstract. When I press export, you will export this small sample, but it's enough for us to start. So let me wait until he prepares the file to export it. Let's give it a little bit of time. For some reason.
This is the hands-on part of our webinar.
Okay. Authorize them. So you will create this file. Is a comma separated value, and if you open it with a notepad or TextMate or other program, what you will see? You will see that basically you have each line corresponds to the link to the paper. Okay, and the abstract. So here is the structure of the file. This is exactly what I need. The thing that I need to change now is rename the type of file from comma separated value to tx type text file, because otherwise I'm unable to import this to Notebook LM. So create a new notebook, and I just drag and drop the file, and here on my left I will have all the files that I can edit, being text file, via PDF or something. So he already produced a summary what is in this file, but I will give it context and tell him exactly what is this. So in this file, I have 100 abstracts retrieved from Scopus database. I'm telling it which database I got it, because when I tell him to improve my query, he will format the query in order to work correctly in Scopus. So retrieved from Scopus using the query, and now I'm going to tell it which query I use. Climate change, buildings. So I provided the context, and now I'm going to tell him what I want him to do. 1, organize the abstracts by subtopics, and 2, provide a summary for each subtopic. So now he will organize the information, and as it organizes it by subtopics, I can now then look at each subtopic and see which topics are outside of my interest and the others that are right within what I want to work on. Okay, so it's now providing me for each category of subtopic a summary. Okay, so I will push up and I can see the topics. And let's imagine that what I want to work on is about passive design, thermal management, and probably building an urban resilience. So now what I'm going to say is, I am interested in searching for publications, articles, and review papers addressing subtopics 2 and I think it was 4, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. And 4. And 4. If you want, you can put it within parentheses exactly the topic. So here, and I can also copy and paste this. So now provide me with a new search query that
Eugênio, I think
yes.
In subtopic 2, you wrote the definition of subtopic 1.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
It was just to check if we were following.
Yes. Thank you. Copy and pasted the wrong line. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so provide me with a new search query that removes the other topics and includes other or includes synonymous or acronyms. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so he provided me here the new queries and is suggesting this structure. So let me copy it. If you want, you can try to understand it, what it means, but it's basically searching title, abstracts, and keywords, these, and include as well the subtopics with these terms and exclude all of them. So let's see how this goes. I can now come and in the results, I can edit, press it, and now search. There's a syntax error. Probably I'm missing some. Let me ask him to provide me in a single line. Without comments. Okay, so now I copy. Let's see if it now. We copied everything like so. Copy. Okay, and now I have the results. You only provided me 11. So this is too narrow. Not to be so. Okay. Okay. Copy and paste it. Now search. To increase it a little bit more. So let me look at which is adding limit to dot article or limit to, okay. So let me remove this part to see if he increases a little bit more. Title. And oh, I'm not liking the way he's putting these keywords. Or heat wave, okay. Query that presses only that is broad search that covers topic 2 and 4. Okay, let me see. Now it works better. It's exactly the same. Title. Okay. Basic materials. Math, ventilation. Okay. And or. Okay, let me see if it continues to provide me the same. For some reason. Okay. New extend it to include on climate change and global warming. Search, okay. Let me see if it increases. We'll remove this part to see. See if it increases. Okay, now it increases too much. Okay, but I will copy it. copy it here. Okay. And okay, I use this string now. Can you limit it to the last 3 years? Okay. Now search. Okay, from the last 3 years, we are obtaining this 11,758. Now let's do a loop and see what abstract we have here. So I have 100, so export, separated value again, remove abstract only, export, allow. So I probably already have the second one. This I can delete. And now I will add another one. I unselect the one that I previously had in order to remove the previous results. This new file contains the abstract from the last search query. Organize the information, the abstracts, by topic. Okay, so according to the new results, he provided me a new search, a new categorization of the results. I can then read which topic is about. And now, for instance, imagine that I only want to address topic 2. A new search query addressing topic 2. Okay, he removed non-related to thermal comfort, so other dimensions of climate change, so flood, coastal, hurricane, and extreme weather events. So let's now copy. You need to select both lines because this line is very long and sometimes it's hard to copy and paste it. Okay. So now I have 2,683 and I can redo this procedure again. All documents, export. And allow again. So I can now delete this. And add the new file. Turn it off. The latest file as the newer search query. Provide me with categorization of the results. Okay, so now I'm narrowing it more and more about the topics that I want to address. So let's imagine that we reach a point that we are limited only to this part. And query addressing only simulation topic. Okay, so let's try and see what will this give us. Okay, so imagine that this is now the sample that we want to work on. I will download only the first one other abstract, but you then can download other files and you can add more files with the results. So let's select our abstracts. Okay, and edit again. I turn it off. So these are my final results. Can you provide me with a summary of the topic? Okay, talking about methods and other approaches. This is what are the abstracts are talking about. You can see for each sentence that he addresses, you can press and it will tell you which abstract addresses the aspect that they are talking about. But now I want to tell him what I want to do with this information. I want to write a review on this topic. Based on the results, which structure or outline of the review you suggest? Okay, so according to the abstract, the sample of abstract that he has here, we can, as I told you before, increase the number of abstracts. If you exported the other pages, you can have a more diverse numbers of sections. But usually 100 papers already gives you a good example of the topics. So let's see, it's providing me with an introduction, the urgency of thermal resilience in built environment. Then in section, where is section 2? 2, materials and components level. So it's addressing from the small scale to the large scale probably. 2, then 3, where is the 3? Computational methods, addressing the tools that can be used. And the 4th, quantifying thermal, how we can assess thermal performance. The fifth, integrated design and future directions. Okay, so let me now ask him the following. According to the abstracts, identify what is the importance and urgency of the topic. Provide me with 2-paragraph reasoning. Okay, so he's now explaining why it's important and urgent. So the importance terms for necessity of preserving human health and quality of life, mitigating global environment damage, and especially in buildings. Okay, and then urgency, detected immediate and projected risk associated with the increase of thermal stress and energy demand. So this is a good way to see how the abstracts show why this topic is important and urgency. When we are now writing our review about this topic, we are able to also convey to the reader why it's important, why these authors say that it's important, and why we should address it now. Okay, so let me now try and ask him what are the main conclusions of the abstracts provided by the authors. Okay, so according to the abstracts, he extracted this information and organized it this way. So he was able to, according to the abstract, usually we have in the abstracts last 2-3 sentences about what are the main conclusions of the study and the recommendations. So he organized this in this way: breakthroughs in materials and performance and passive design, then overheating risk, failure of existing standards, so problems with current methodologies. He also found that computational methods are immensely used right now in this kind of assessments, and which methods they use, and that climate adaptive strategy needs to be addressed in several scales, which makes sense. Okay, so you already have a very good structure of what might be the idea of the paper, and we can now ask him, provide me with a summary of the whole study or the whole review. I was not. Okay, so this, but I wanted something more like an abstract. The abstract summary. Okay, so you provide me something more shorter about the research, so then I can read it and see if I agree on how I should do it. So this is only assistance. This is not my paper. I'm just wanting to have a fast overview of the topic, how I can organize it, which topics should I address, and if I agree or not, I can follow the recommendations of the notebook LM or not. I'm not mandatory to use it. There are other things that you can do with this notebook LM. You can, for instance, create a quiz based on the topics. Let's see. And usually takes a little bit to generate this quiz.
Okay, but still, so I think we have an idea about how to use this tool right now. Okay, the people can explore by their own these capabilities, and I think we have some very interesting question, and I will introduce this question saying that maybe in terms of scientific research, AI will still leave place for our involvement in research, but when we are talking about review article, I think with this kind of tools we are approaching closely to an end of this kind of large review article that can be managed easily using AI. And we have some questions like this in this idea. Can we put the AI in our methods of the article?
Yeah.
And how?
You should place them, but in a wise way. I mean, when you start feeling that what you are writing or what you are generating is not yours, you're already stepped over the ethical line. So from the point of view of science, it does not matter if it's a human or a machine that produces new knowledge, because science wants new knowledge. But from the point of view that this is a system where we participate as researchers, and we are competing all together to have funding, to have a position in the career, and so on, we need to be fair and transparent with others. And in this sense, we cannot take the credits of texts that are not created by us. This is the issue. We cannot create, we not should have the credit of ideas that are not ours. So this as an assistant that allows you to accelerate how you can reach the topic that you want to analyze, how you can immediately create a map of the work that you want to address. These tools are helpful, but these are not your work. This is not your work. So these are only like an assistant that provide you some information that can organize it rapidly. If I was, when I took my PhD, when I started in 2010, 2011, when I took my PhD, I took like 4 or 5 months to do my literature review, to identify the papers that I wanted to work on, the topics that I wanted to work on. With these tools nowadays, I can immediately remove a lot of papers that I read unnecessarily then. I could already focus my energy and my efforts directly on the topic that I wanted. So the fact that I can use this kind of tools that help me improve my search query in the database, narrow the results, and provide me alternative search queries to focus my research, this will be the great advantage of using these tools. And then with a sample of abstracts, I can easily create a structure to identify what might be my subtopics inside of my team. So
okay. And another question that was appreciated by the audience. With this strategy of converting Scopus searches into text files and using them in Notebook LM, can we overcome the limitation of the free version of Notebook LM, which only allows 50 PDFs?
So the thing is, here we are not importing PDFs first, right? Because we are only importing abstracts in order to improve the search query. When we import PDFs, we are already asking Notebook LM to start analyzing the articles themselves, right? I recommend that you read the papers and analyze them, because you, as PhD students, you need to develop your own skills about being capable of analyzing and synthesizing the information. So although machine learning is improving very fast, and one day might do it very easily for us, that will make us, if we do not do that, we are not a full researcher in the sense that we are able to do that kind of analysis and synthesis. You know, it's a skill that you need to develop. So I would not recommend just drop the PDFs here and ask him to write the essay for you. Nonetheless, you can ask Notebook LM. There's a way to circumvent the limitation of 50 PDFs, is that after you know the structure of your review paper or of your work, you can then go section by section and provide the PDFs that you want to analyze in that section. Because when you, as you can see here, when I ask him to provide me the outline, he organizes me the outline with the reference to the papers of that section. So I can select them and create a notebook for each section, and that way I'm overcoming that issue. But it's only a technicality problem, and as the data centers improve and increase their capability, in the future might be 200 PDFs or more. So that will be only a technical issue in question of time.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Eugenio deserves a round of applause from you, I think, for his efforts. And I will like to have maybe the chance at one point to do this hands-on in a summer school or something, because it's clear that we need time to explore in details all these aspects. Not being restricted to a 2 hours meeting, or I hope a little bit more than this, because we still have one presentation, and we will pass the words for Lucian to his activity right now. But do not forget, please, to stay here with us, because at the end we will have some information for you related to the opportunities of EC2U Alliance in terms of activities, of mobilities, and so on. Thank you once more, Professor Rodriguez, for the presentation. Lucian, please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Lucian, and thank you, Professor Rodriguez. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yeah, great. I guess it's the class that I have with the most participants I ever had. So thank you all for being present to this online class, because we cannot produce workshops, as Lucian mentioned. I will try to be short in my presentation. And I would like to speak about a subject that was mentioned before, but was not present. It was not present as a full presentation. So my idea is about communicating the science. So how can we go from research to the audience, or who is our audience? And these are some questions I would like to propose to you when speaking about our research. Well, there is a challenge of scientific silence, because in average, our research papers are read only by 10 people. And there is, of course, a lot of noise in our research. For 2024, there are around 3.2 million scientific papers published annually. But there is a value of that between discovery and impact, meaning that we have a crisis, not a lack of knowledge, but I believe that we have a failure to communicate it. So today I would like to speak about how can we challenge the artificial intelligence to be our ally, because I would like to, I guess that most of us don't have science communicator role in our research teams, so we cannot afford to pay someone who communicate our research. This is why I believe that artificial intelligence can help us bridging the gap between our work and communicating our work. So I'm not an expert, but I'm someone who has faced challenge and found some helpful tools. And I would like to say that my work involves a lot of activities, like engaging with city council, writing grants, explaining research to different groups. And each of these, my groups need a different communication style. And I was inspired in this presentation about one of the researchers that I follow, Carlos Moreno, which actually in the last years, his time is dedicated to communicating his results. His main result is the solution of the 15-minute city. And I'm following him on Instagram, and I see that most of his time is present in different activities and in different meetings with different stakeholders. And I believe that most of his time he's actually doing science communication. And I think all should embrace this. We should embrace the idea of communicating our work more than we're doing right now. The idea of my presentation went from one research that I'm working on it, and I work on it. I work on a guideline for designing nature-based playgrounds for sustainable communities. There is a research project that I'm working for 1 year, but there are 10 different stories in this project, because I have to communicate my results to a lot of different stakeholders, from children, parents to the mayor, and I have only 3 minutes to present my results. So I have the same data, or I have the same profile and the same words, but I have an impossible translation task to all different stakeholders and all different groups. You know, the European Commission wants to have 50 pages of technical jargon. Parents on Facebook want to know if the kids would be safe. And actually, I realized that I was failing all of this. So the first idea was to hire a communicator in my project. But then I discovered that maybe I can use AI to tell different stories in different ways, leading from the same project. So of course, science communication used to mean writing a press release some years ago and hoping some journalists would pick up, but those days are gone. Now we have a lot of platforms to communicate. We have TikTok, LinkedIn, Policy Brief, Blogspots, podcasts, and each of them require different formats and different languages. And I think this is the difficulty, and this is the challenge that we face. We cannot manually create 10 different versions of ourselves. But I believe that AI can help us translating the message and putting more substance in our work. So, of course, there are a lot of generative AI tools, and you mentioned some of them. I remember one of the last tools that you mentioned, Litmaps, is a tool that I also used. We have AI for content creation, for design and virtual arts, for coding, for audio, video generation, and we have specific AI for a lot of things. And I think in the last 10 minutes we just spoke, someone just invented another AI doing something else. Because generative AI isn't just ChatGPT writing text, it's also about generating video script, it's also about generating a literature synthesis of a certain domain, and so on. So which AI should we use? Of course, there are different AIs. It depends. It depends of what you would like to do, and there are different ranks of each of these AIs. Personally, I prefer Claude, but well, there are a lot of them. And you will understand that it's not so important the AI, but rather what you're writing to the AI. So for me, Claude often provides more nuanced output, but Gemini is much better for fast checking results, and of course Perplexity using sources, and it provides sources for what you're doing. And of course ChatGPT is the best for creative conversational content and so on. So I would, before we dive into the practical skills, I would establish some ground rules that I use. The artificial intelligence doesn't know our research. We are the expert, and the artificial intelligence is just the translator of what we're asking. It cannot verify our facts, and we should verify the facts. What it can brilliantly do is to take our expert knowledge and reshape it for different audiences. We have to think of AI as a highly skilled translator who speaks every possible language, but we need to provide him the original message. So our role is to guide AI to verify the output and to refine it, because AI's role is to help us communicating faster and in a more efficient way. So the main idea from this slide is that the prompt matters. The quality input, it will have a quality output, garbage in, garbage out. And because of that, I think, and I truly believe in this concept, and also it's related to the ethics of using the AI, humans at the helm. And you will understand what I'm speaking is that AI can amplify our communication, but it will also amplify our mistakes or biases. So the human presence is not optional when using AI, it's essential. When you're using the artificial intelligence platform, any of them, we're making an ethical choice about data privacy. When we're writing a prompt, we're potentially introducing biases, and the output evaluation should be ours and should be present in any of the prompts that we're using. So every decision that we're taking using the AI has an ethical implication, and this is why I think, and there are a lot of questions about the ethics. I think the ethics is our responsibility, most of it. So I would like to be honest with you and just let you know that AI will lie to you. No matter what, I guess at least I studied some of them, and like 20% of the scientific output is a lie. It will cite papers that don't exist. It will create statistics that sounds right, but they are wrong. And it will fabricate false information. So this is very terrifying for us because we have to defend ourselves in this phase. And I believe that using AI should be the reason why you should use it responsibly. Always we have to verify facts. Always we have to check citations, cross-references. And also I think that the generative AIs right now have improved their work, and they're not creating so many fake citations that they were doing some months or 1 year ago. And we have to think of AI as our personal internship person, personal intern, an enthusiastic intern. He's creative, he's helpful, but he requires a lot of supervision from ourselves. So one of the AI's superpowers is role-playing. And I'm using AI to have multiple roles. and I'm creating different agent AIs, and they can have different roles. So for example, I have a role as a student, and I'm trying to give to him to solve some of the questions or some of the exams that I'm producing, and I want to see the feedback he is giving to me. Sometimes I'm using him to be a critical peer reviewer of my work, for my abstract, and so on. So I think you have to take into consideration that AI can have different roles, and that's important to understand also because he's available 24 hours per day. I will come back to the science communication, because science communication is not writing. It's not only writing, it's a multi-layer process. At the foundation of the communication pyramid, we are working with content creation, and it's what we are most of the time doing. We're using AI to content create, but then there are also some other forms of disseminating the work, and then we have to analyze to have an engagement of the audience, and then we have to have a content analysis and to evaluate our strategies to promote our work. So I guess that once we're nailing with all these different steps, the rest becomes much easier. So there are different steps that I'm using in order to communicate the results of my science. Of course, there is the step of identifying the core message and research findings, define the target audience and their needs, to choose appropriate format and which platform should we use, and then to craft the prompt. And I will speak more about the prompt engineering, because the prompt engineering is actually what we're interested in, because you will notice that the prompt engineering is at the base of a correct answer and the correct output. And of course that the process takes time initially, but will speed up dramatically with practices. And I would like to tell you one more thing. The AI platform matters less than you think. What it is more important is not the platform that we're using, but the prompt that you will be using. So a bad prompt, no matter what platform we will be using, it will still result in a bad result. But a good prompt, we will see best results from any of the platform, not only from ChatGPT or whatever. So I'm telling you that the difference is actually the prompt. If you're telling AI, write about my research, you'll get probably garbage. But if you're telling AI exactly what to write, to whom, in which style, what examples, you probably get gold. So I would like to deep into more about how can we write a good prompt and how can we produce better results using a good prompt. So there are the prompt, but first of all, is not a command. Actually, it's a conversation. You're using AI for a conversation and you're refining the prompt every time with a conversation starter. So it's like briefing or working with a colleague. You give him the context about the project, you explain the role that he should play, you specify the need that you want, but you also set the boundaries, how many pages or how many words. This is how exactly a prompt works. The AI model will respond to different approaches. Some, they are better with structured templates, some are better with a conversational infrastructure. But we will practice an example right now, and I will go on. It's about how can we create a prompt and what are the most important features of a prompt. So first of all, it's about the context. Context means explaining your research area. The AI doesn't know, or maybe he knows but doesn't want to show you that he knows. Then the specificity means that, say, write a 500-word blog or not write something. Constraints means AI telling what not to do, what to avoid, what are the boundaries, what are the limitations. The perspective means specifying right for a busy mayor, for example. or write for a bunch of kids playing in the playground, and so on. So you can also feed him with other examples, or you can give him where to inspire. You can also define your audience. And also you have to think about the format specification. Is a newspaper, it is a blog, it is a tweet, it is a policy brief, or maybe it's a video script. And in the end, of course, you have to refine it again and again, because the good prompt and the good output, it is built progressively. So the demonstration setup that I would like to work with, I've just done it. This was part of the workshop, but because you are so many, I'm just giving you an example. I wrote a book about a guide for regenerating playgrounds using nature-based solutions. It has almost 100 pages, and I was telling you that I had to explain this book for different audiences, for kids to European Commission and to Horizon projects, to Mayor, and so on. So what I'm telling him right now is to write a blog post on the website that we're having related to the findings of the book that I just launched some months ago, related nature-based solutions in urban playground design. So the real research abstract is about nature-based solutions playground study. The target transformation is from a book to a blog post for local website. The audience are the parents, the community members, the local decision makers. The goal is to generate more interest and to support our work for project implementation, and maybe to have the community engagement involved in this project. And of course, the challenge is to remove my research words to maintain accuracy while increasing accessibility. So here is what I given as a prompt for each of the characteristics that I was telling you. So specificity means write around a 600-word blog post with 3 sections and conversational tone. The constraints is avoid academic jargon, citation, and eliminate methodological specificities which are not interested for the parents. The perspective example is write from the viewpoint of a community advocate, but not from the point of view of a researcher. I give him also examples of articles that I enjoy reading, like similar to articles in CityLab, or maybe I found a local newspaper that creates good quality output. And of course, I want to include benefits, real-world impact, visual elements maybe. I would like to exclude methodological details, academic debates, or technical specifications. I'm telling him what is my audience, and I'm telling him the format. The whole format should be for the blog with engaging title, subheadings, and call to action for community engagement. So of course, the result is quite big because it's a 600 words. It's a big abstract, or rather introduction, but I'm showing you the prompt. The prompt was made with the help of Claude. I was telling you that I enjoy working with Claude better than other programs. I don't know why, even though Claude is limited in some ways. So the prompt is in only 2 paragraphs, but in these 2 paragraphs, I managed to introduce everything that I was telling you. I mentioned the specificity. The second paragraph also mentioned the constraints, no jargon, no citation, no methodology. I specify 8th grade reading level, and also I demand transparency. So of course, I also received the result. The result is much bigger than you can see it here. Here are only the 2 free paragraphs. There are maybe 200 words, 300 words. And I must be honest, I didn't enjoy it 100% how it was written. Well, firstly, because it was written in English and not in Romanian, or how I supposed to. And second, I think it does not have the local specificity. And the local specificity or the local context, maybe it's the Romanian context, or maybe it's the city where I'm coming from, I should introduce them. but it will actually take a lot of time to introduce everything that I want. And for this kind of result, I will edit manually, and I will rewrite the things that I want to do it. So this is the result. The title changed from investigating nature-based solutions into the title that you see. The language shifted from enhancing cognitive development through biophilic elements to very simple things like kids who climb real trees learn better. Okay, and actually it helped me a lot translating my work in a more natural language. It took me maybe 15 to 30 minutes to refine everything that I wanted to have. It was generated in 30 seconds. So, yeah. I would like also to speak about common mistakes that guarantee us bad results. So I think everyone writes terrible prompts initially. I also do when I'm in a hurry and I want just to find out some very basic questions. I certainly had terrible prompts. Write about my research would give you generic fluff. Make this simple. It's no target reading, no purpose, no audience. Or create social media content without specifying you want it for Instagram, you want it for LinkedIn, or you want it for Facebook. Of course, it will produce unusable contents. So actually these prompts fail because they make AI guess what you want. And AI most of the time cannot guess what you want. I also believe that AI is learning us. So he knows some things about us, and sometimes it will produce results that we expect to have. And yes, we have to learn from these mistakes. Of course, there is also the refinement loop, meaning that we learn to produce better and better and better outputs. For example, I feed the AI with actual examples. And I remember that I was using Midjourney in order to create some local boyard female from Iași city, and I needed maybe 1 day to feed him with real examples. And after 1 day of learning him what I wanted to produce, he started to produce what I wanted to have. But it took me 1 day to learn him to do that. So feeding the AI with examples of your target style can be a refinement loop. It can include 2 free samples articles from the target publication that you want to publish. You can also use a similar tone, a structure, and the complexity. And of course, the difference it will be day and night after you manage to use these refinement ideas. Iteration, of course, and the final polish, I think it's the most important, the expertise that you're adding as an authenticity, and the AI cannot create. Even if you're using the chat zero GPT or whatever, your expertise, it's more important than anything else. Of course, that when you master the process for something like a blog post, you can apply it everywhere. And there are some other examples that I'm using. I'm trying to find other grant applications for working with the playground that I'm redesigning. So I'm asking Claude to be my co-assistant. I'm trying to work with policy reports, and I'm also using to help me. Of course, social media, municipal presentation, stakeholder emails, or press release, they are all different formats or different languages that we don't know. Maybe we don't know these languages. I don't know the language of the policymakers. I don't know the language of the European Commission technical perspective. And this is why AI can be a co-assistant to you. But of course, we have to have a honest discussion, because, well, some colleagues and you are worrying about it. If everyone can easily communicate their research, maybe we will create information house. And I think these are questions that maybe I cannot answer to all the questions that I'm posted on this slide. But just I wanted to let you know one thing. Previously, only researchers with PR departments or maybe exceptional writing skills could reach public audience. And we have to admit that most of us don't have a PR department in our working domain. And I believe that the AI should help us becoming our PR department, because what I believe that the science is publicly funded and we owe the society an accessible communication. And this is what I wanted you to live with you in mind, that you as PhD students or researchers or future researchers should and have to communicate your science. It's not only about that 5 or 10 or 100 or 1,000 citations that you receive, it's also about bringing the science back to the community. And because of that, we can take it the hard way, learn different languages to communicate to different stakeholders, or take a personal co-assistant to help you doing that. So of course, I would like also to speak about the uncomfortable stuff, our responsibility and the ethics while we're using that. And the first thing that you should take in our mind is that there is an inequity access, because not everyone has money to pay the premium AI access, and for sure it will create new divides. And of course, there is also the intellectual property who owns the AI assisted content. But what I wanted you to remember is the human at the helm, because it is our own responsibility to claim everything that AI is doing. So every ethics that you're thinking about it, it's also our own responsibility to think about it. So I'm finishing my presentation with just some key lessons that I wanted to remember right now. Gen AI is not an oracle. It's actually a statistical pattern machine, not a source of truth. This is why we have to check again and again. AI doesn't know what it doesn't know. He will actually answer, and most of the time confident answer, sometimes can be completely wrong, and we have to take into consideration this. You remember that we are the authority, not the AI. AI is our intern, is our assistant, is a tool that requires our expert guidance. And we should always check the verification, ask for sources, evidence, alternative perspective, and so on. Coherence is not all the time truth, because we can have beautiful lies inside of our presentations or inside of our work, and this is why we should check that. Yes, AI can write beautifully wrong content, and it's sometimes we don't have time to check everything, but we have to do it, because if we're not doing, we're posing fake information in the research and wherever we're doing. I am guiding my AIs actively. Verify this, find these sources, check other languages, check this, I don't know, this author, what do you think about he wrote, and so on. It's also important to demand transparency about when it's reasoning. So I will end my presentation now, and I would thank you all for being actively present here. And I want just to mention that the text was designed by me, but it was redesigned with my co-assistant, which is called Claude. And also the Canva AI helped me to make the design of the presentation. So maybe I'm answering to a question already. We should mention that we're using AI in our work. I don't think it should be a shame that we're doing this, because as I was telling you, we don't have a lot of money to pay different roles in our research, and communicating our work should be at the core of our work. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Lucian. It was very insightful to tackle a little bit the ethical issues of this topic. And I think it was interesting for all the same as for me. It was a question at from your first part of the presentation, how we can increase the number of readers of scientific articles. Is not quite related to your own presentation, but I think it's a question for us all in times when we have access to a lot of papers. How can we increase the number of readers for our work? Do you have an opinion on that?
Yes, for sure.
Imagine being able to build.
Sorry.
Okay. I believe that we have to be active on different platforms, but not only on different platforms, but in real life. So the first step that we should do is to be active in real life. That means we should be active in conferences. We should be active in different meetings that we have. And I wanted just to give you an example of the Professor Carlo Moreno's that I was mentioning at the beginning. He has only 4,000 citations. It's not quite a lot for someone who is putting on the public agenda worldwide the concept of the 15-minute city. But his focus is more on promoting the results of his papers rather than getting more and more citations. So my idea is also, maybe it shouldn't be about how many papers we are writing. It should be about how do we communicate the results of our papers. So in the last 6 months, I was working more on how to communicate to different stakeholders the results of my project rather than communicate in the scientific world. But I'm also doing that. I'm presenting the results in some conferences and in some different environments in the stakeholder. So to be conclusive to your question, I think it's important to be present in real life, but also in different platforms, and we should present our work, not only the scientific work, but also what is behind our scientific work.
Thank you very much. And from this example of not having so much citation, but being very relevant in the science, I think this will lead us somehow to rethinking of the Hirsch index and scientometric aspects of our academic life. Thank you once more for the presentation. For you, we do not have so much time for other questions, but we try to respond to other insights on this presentation by email, I hope. And there are here two constant questions. Are the presentation available? Yes, they will be available. You will receive an email with all these three presentations of today. And the meeting, as you see the red dot on upper part of your screen, is recorded, and we try to make it available for you all the same. And because we try to conclude our presentation of our webinar of today, our vice rector is somewhere maybe lost in the fog, but I will try to cover the main ideas of the EC2U relevant things to know about. Again, I'm pretty sure that you are already aware of EC2U Alliance. Can you see my screen also? Yes. And sorry, I try to. You see it like this? Okay. There are 9 universities in our alliance, and most of them are from European Union. We have also Lviv University from Ukraine, maybe integrated at one point in our alliance too. There are annual forums. Maybe you as a PhD student can attend to this forum. There are interesting things, maybe as this one here, but on site. There is an interesting architecture. If you see this Greek temple here or Roman temple, we have 4 work packages that are connected maybe with all your activities, good health and well-being, quality education, sustainable cities and communities where we are basically right now, and justice and strong institution. We try to harmonize all these activities mainly through virtual institutes. So you should be aware that you have taken part to such an activity in the virtual institute of EC2U Alliance. And more important to you is that currently there is a mobility program within EC2U. Here is an example of work package 6. People from you that are part of the universities that they have affiliation to one of these university can be part of such mobility. And also for PhD networks, if you are not part of an university, you can have, as we have now in Alexandru Ioan Cuza University, a mobility program within EC2U, and you can find useful contacts, academic contacts in other universities from the Alliance to develop some scientific idea or some kind of cooperation in the future. That one goal of our alliance, to join our interests in scientific research and science communication and other type of practical activity also. And for this you should check your university for a separate call, but normally it should be the same as in our university. For instance, we have 8 mobilities for 12 days for PhD students only, to take place somewhere in the next 2 years or so. And we really hope to involve you in this kind of activities. Also, maybe in the future we will have other types of activities, as today in the framework of PhD network, maybe not so general, because here it was initiated in work package 6, but in the future maybe we will have only in each work package an event like this. Please check EC2U site for the next days, because there are some other webinars and workshop online in this PhD network from EC2U, stamped in other places. And I'm pretty sure that tomorrow and Wednesday you have also other interesting activities like this one here, which was maybe general, because the topic of our discussion is somehow general, and maybe what we understand from your large and huge interest on the topic is that we should do this in the future in EC2U. Maybe we should have I don't know, a specific direction covering this AI related interests that we have in common. And at the end, I will like to thank the organizers of these events for enabling us to be together in such a large number. I thank Petronella from Alexandru Ioan Cuza University, who facilitated this event, also for coordinators from Poitiers. And you are asked to complete our survey that you can find here, and you also receive other information by email. This will be very useful for us to have a feedback for our today meeting, but also to explore new, maybe new ideas for our PhD work in the future. And also there is a small condition here to complete this survey if you want to receive an participation certificate after for your participation in the today event. So I don't know if someone else want to complete something today. Petronella, Professor Gameiro.
Yeah, okay. I may just say something quite simple. It's thank you very much, everybody. Okay, first of all, the speakers, but okay, I may say that also all the encouraging messages we were receiving from the participants. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. So,
Just
yes, you will.
little.
Yes, please, please.
Another thank you to all of you participants that you stay till the end. But the main thank you is from for the speakers, for all of you that organized this. So you all will receive an email with all the necessary information about this workshop, with the answer of your question and the link for the feedback survey. After that, all of you that will be here will receive this certificate of attendance, of course. Thank you all.
Thank you very much once again. I hope you enjoyed your start of the week with us, with this event, and I really hope to see us in other kind of events in the future, maybe online in the framework of PhD Network, or maybe on our next forum in Turku next year, somewhere in May, or maybe, I don't know, in a previous event that we should have maybe in the beginning of the next spring, or in late winter. Thank you all for the attendance, and good luck.
Thank you so much. Just a final word. My warmest congratulations to the organizers.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for your energy. And I think we understand a lot from such a large number of participants today. We face together a big challenge, which is AI, and we should master it, not to be mastered by AI. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.